Years before the birth of Aquaman, his mother Atlanta, the Queen of Atlantis, rescued a man from a storm that would have claimed his life. They fell in love. When discovered she was pregnant, she asked to be released from the throne of Atlantis to join her love, the lighthouse keeper she had rescued. Instead, imprisoned, she escaped and Arthur was born on the coast. Atlanta left her son with his father Thomas Curry to protect them from the wrath of Atlantis. Returning back home, Atlanta was forced into an arranged marriage and bore a second son, Aquaman's half-brother Orm, aka Ocean Master. After the king and queen of Atlantis was murdered, Orm became the new rightful king. Years passed and Arthur's powers began to develop. Thomas sought out the help of a marine biologist named Stephen Shin, whom he saved from a sinking ship many years ago. Thomas told Shin the honest truth of how Arthur came to be, and Shin gave many good years of his life in the pursuit of helping Arthur control his abilities. Shin attempted to go public, but after informing Thomas during Arthur's graduation day, Arthur's father broke in and took years of research and everything that would link Arthur to Atlantis. Following his graduation, Arthur went on a fishing trip with a fellow classmate. During the voyage, a plane crashes into the ocean and without a superhero to save it. Arthur's best friend had already deduced that he isn't like other students, that Arthur is more than average. With his best friend urging him on, Arthur jumped into the ocean and lifted the plane to safety. But his friend was not the only one to witness this heroic deed. His credibility lost, Stephen Shin hired a treasure hunter named Manta to take a blood sample from Arthur so he can regain his credibility. Arriving home from the plane rescue, Arthur stopped the struggle between a mysterious man and Arthur's father, whose health was failing prior to this event. Thomas Curry died from a heart attack 3 days after, and in a fit of rage, Arthur went to the treasure hunter and mistook Manta for his father. Black Manta's father died that day, and the two became locked in a blood feud ever since. Months later, Black Manta resurfaced and began killing a member of the others, ex-teammates of Aquaman. Arthur reluctantly gathers every member of his old team and unraveled Manta's goals to gather all of the relics from the Dead King and to gain the 7th weapon, the Scepter of the Dead King, the weapon that sank Atlantis. Aquaman gains the scepter and had his chance to avenge his father. Arthur shows his noble heart and spares Manta's life. After discovering parademons in the oceans, Aquaman emerges from the waters to find a few metahumans taking a stand against these invaders. He introduces and votes himself the leader of the other defenders. Green Lantern challenges the rightful king of Atlantis and asks what he brings to the table. Aquaman turns to a horde of approaching parademons and commands his sharks to attack. After Arthur displays his abilities with his trident, Green Lantern states, "Never mind." The new threat is a powerful alien named Darkseid, who seeks to enslave humanity and turn his subjects into mindless servants. Aquaman and Wonder Woman takes out Darkseid's eyes, and with the aid of Cyborg's tech, the group manages to push him back into the boom tube as it closes on him. The Seven are celebrated as superheroes who saved the planet, but when asked for a group name, the Flash declares them the Super Seven. The group, later known as the founding members of the Justice League, are tasked with the defense of the planet from anyone who would bear her harm. The deep oceans of the world, Aquaman meets with his younger brother, the ruler of Atlantis, King Orm. Arthur confronts Orm about an Atlantean attack on a military base and Manta's attack on himself and his friends. Orm denies the allegations and states that he loves his brother and wishes only happiness for him on the surface world. Later that week, missiles were launched into the ocean depths and devastates many cities of Atlantis. King Orm retaliates and the ocean attacks Metropolis and Gotham City. The Justice League groups up to face the full wrath of Ocean Master and Atlantis. The aggravated Ocean Master uses his scepter to banish Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Aquaman down to the dark waters as punishment and imprisonment. The reserved Justice League defends Earth's lands, but Ocean Master and the Atlantean forces proves to be too much for them. The main Justice League escapes their captivity and joins in on the fight. Aquaman meets Ocean Master face to face. Arthur informs his brother that everyone was deceived by a banished Atlantean named Vulko. This man controlled the trench creatures and commanded them to attack. Ocean Master senses that Aquaman has been made soft and corrupted by the surface world. King Orm expresses that when he was a little kid and found out that he had an older brother stuck on the surface, it made him tear up having thought that he actually had a brother and that the surface world has been pulling them apart. The brothers attack. The League steps in to foil Ocean Master's contingency plans, and Mira stops a tidal wave from taking out the city. The triumphant Aquaman sends his brother into police custody to stand trial for the attack. Aquaman believes that this is the best way to prevent another follow-up war between Atlantis and the surface world. Ocean Master yields his position, giving Aquaman the rightful powers as King of Atlantis. Aquaman now sits at the throne, but will all of his subjects accept him as their new king? After the disappearance of his love Mera, Aquaman tracks her down to her birthplace in Zebel, a watery dimension colonized by exiled Atlanteans after the first king sank Atlantis. He finds the first king of Atlantis. After the dead king reclaims his kingdom, Vulko escapes with an unconscious Aquaman. Arthur wakes up 6 months later in the Antarctic and discovers the dead king's past. The dead king was once Atlan, the king of Atlantis. He was betrayed by his brother Orin and by his people. They killed his wife and children, and he was hunted, and within that time, he forged the 6 artifacts of Atlantis with his arcane knowledge. He returned years later, and without uttering a single word, kills his brother. And as Atlantis was plunged into a civil war, he finally spoke after years of silence. "Let it all die," and using his great strength, sunk the great nation of he had spent his lifetime building. Vulko explains that Aquaman was not the descendant of Atlan, but rather the descendant of his brother Orin. The angered Aquaman uses the scepter to command his army of trench creatures and attacks Atlantis. He stands victorious against the dead king, but the scepter was destroyed during the battle along with the dead king of Atlantis. King Arthur and Queen Mera sits at the throne of Atlantis once again. During this time, ex-king of Atlantis, Ocean Master, breaks out of jail during the crime syndicate rule. Instead of returning to his kingdom, he finds love and settles down with a surface dweller. But the self-proclaimed king of Zebel came and offers his loyalty and servitude to the Ocean Master. Aquaman is the rightful ruler of Atlantis and the Earth's oceans, an Atlantean with incredible strength and speed as well as the ability to command all sea life. His unique physiology allows him to survive on land and the ocean's greatest depths of pressure and temperature. While hydrated sufficiently, Aquaman has twice proven capable of lifting weights in excess of 10,000 tons. Arthur also has the ability to see, hear, and smell, much greater than human capacity, and possesses superhuman reflexes 15 times greater than a normal being. While no speedster, Aquaman's reflexes are superior even to metahumans. His ability to see through murky waters gives him remarkable vision at night while on the surface, and is capable of seeing far deep as 36,000 feet below the ocean floor. He also possesses superhuman hearing, able to hear the heartbeat of a living being through the bulk of a submarine. Furthermore, he has also displayed some sort of sonar sense in some occasions and the ability to feel water in near proximity. Aquaman's trident, crafted by the first king of Atlantis, is his standard weapon of choice. It's indestructible and able to hurt even the toughest of opponents, such as when he punctured Darkseid's eye during the invasion. Said to be the most powerful amongst a set of weapons crafted by Atlantean artifacts from the hands of the first king of Atlantis, Aquaman is always carrying it with him as a symbol of his authority and a deadly weapon if the need arises, although any further powers have yet to be revealed. Aquaman is also an expert tactician and a leader figure who leads the Atlantean army into battle in multiple occasions. He leads his team The Others and has clashed with Batman over leadership of the Justice League in more than just one occasion. The common misconception is that Aquaman can talk to fish. As he explains it, fish are too primitive to carry a conversation, so he telepathically commands them to his will. Aquaman exhausts more energy to command bigger creatures. He does not have a problem sending a horde of sharks to attack his enemy, but he shows extreme fatigue when he controls the Kraken. His only known weakness is water deprivation. Aquaman must return to water after a period of time or he will weaken, and if injured he could die from his wounds. Given the name Orin through his royal heritage and Arthur Curry by his human upbringing, he fights to protect both worlds by using his mighty abilities and his political influences. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey and thank you so much for watching my origins and bio for Arthur Curry aka Aquaman. Ever since the New 52, I started picking up issues of Aquaman and I am extremely impressed of what DC Comics have done with this character. Aquaman has always been the goofy shadow of the Justice League that can talk to fish. He gets made fun of so much, even in his own issue series when a kid thinks that he is Superman. But the new and improved New 52 Aquaman is hardcore. He has many traits similar to Superman, but has the responsibility of being a king and leading his people. Gradually, Aquaman wants to create a strong alliance with the surface world, but not all of his people seek the same thing. Many Atlanteans actually long the return of his younger brother Orm to the throne. What makes Aquaman a very good issue series for me are the people around him. The others, a team somewhat like the Justice League, are very interesting. They shed light on Aquaman's past and when he was young and reckless on his pursuit for Black Manta. As for Manta, knowing the fact that they were both responsible for the death of both their fathers makes Manta a very unique villain. Manta cares for the riches of the world, but more than anything, he wants Aquaman dead for the murder of his father. During the Forever Evil issues, Ultraman destroys the tomb of his father, and believing Aquaman to be dead, Manta now focuses on the destruction of the crime syndicate. I really enjoyed reading Dr. Shin and his hand in training Arthur. I believe Shin is the post-52 character. Pre-52, Arthur's dad trains him on everything, but the addition of a marine biologist makes so much sense to me. Their relationship has been confusing for Arthur, and I can't help but feel bad for Dr. Shin. Arthur's brother Orm shows us who Arthur would be if he'd never gone to the surface world. Orm rules his empire and is interested in seeing Atlantis grow as a powerful nation of Earth. He also has compassion in his heart, and he loves his brother even after Arthur sends him to prison for the attack on land. Every hero has to have a love interest, and Mera is to Aquaman as Lois Lane is to Clark Kent. I find Mera to be one of the weaker supporting characters, but what makes her more interesting than any other love interest is the fact that Mera was sent to Aquaman from her underwater colony of Zebel to kill him, but instead she falls in love with him and is now the Queen of Atlantis. So it is unclear on where Aquaman spends most of his time. He is a busy man being a prominent member of the Justice League, the leader of the others, king of Atlantis, and he also has a civilian life on Amnesty Bay with Mera and his dog. I love how the people of this town treat him not like a celebrity, but one of their own. When reporters try to find where Arthur lives, the people of the town treats outsiders harshly and turns them down for any questioning. When Arthur developed his powers, people of his town mistreated him, but now they bear so much respect, and I love this relationship. So I highly recommend picking up the new 52 issues of Aquaman to join him on his solo adventures, and pick up Justice League issues to see him team up and often clash with his Justice League teammates. Arthur also leads his second team in Aquaman and the Others. So thank you so much for watching my origins and bio for Arthur Curry aka Aquaman. If you would like me to do an origins and bio of a hero you feel deserves one, please let me know in the comments below. I highly recommend checking out my last origins and bio for Cyclops to catch up on what he has been up to. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time in another origins and bio.